we're going to give you the best social media predictions for 2023. And here's the dealio. You don't need to go viral to get rich. You don't need to be an influencer to make a lot of moolah. So we're going to talk about what we would recommend you do this year. And look, you don't have to do what we suggest, but you also don't have to get rich.
And look, learning to leverage what we'll discuss today will either accelerate your success in business or disrupt it. Choose wisely. Not to freak you out, but there's some major things that are happening right now. What is the social media platform right now that's yielding the most results for your business? I want you to think about lead generation. Where are you growing your following the most, your community the most? Now, I also want to say this. We're no longer in middle school. It's not a popularity contest. Social media notifications are great, but payment notifications are infinitely better. So let's think about, is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it TikTok? Is it LinkedIn? Is it a platform we didn't put on the board? Because there's quite a few of them. If you're building this business, your network marketing business, utilizing the strategy of ad tag message, then Facebook is for sure beautiful. Now, not to be braggadocious, but when I plug into any sort of training, I love to see the credibility of the person that's presenting the information. So we don't just teach theory. Matter of fact, before John and I show up and teach, we put it into play, we create results, and then we turn around and teach from the results that we've created. Now, we've been very fortunate. We partnered up with some incredible people. We've partnered up with an incredible brand, and the results that you see here, we are absolutely blown away, John.
Ultimately, if you want to generate leads and sales, and you want to even use social media to build your teams, you must get better at how you show up, how you communicate. You can't be an infomercial for your company.
Yeah.
You can't expect people to buy from you if they don't know you, like you, trust you. And how do they even know you exist if you're not creating the content in the first place that would ever even catch their attention or give social media the awareness that, like, hey, this person's actually sharing something that people would want to engage with?
You have got to show up consistently. It's not going to happen overnight. And nowadays, there's some really creative ways that you can separate yourself from your competition. Okay, so let's talk about it. What is on the horizon? Let's help you a little bit downsize that scary word called the overwhelm. How many of us ever become overwhelmed because you feel like you need to be everywhere all the time? You should do better content. You should be showing up more often. All right, so my virtual team and myself, we've been doing a lot of just digging and seeing what are the other top experts are saying. So some of these came actually, John, from Shalene and Brock Johnson. We plug into their Instagram Club Hub experience. So I love what they talked about. So the first thing that they said is we'll see more messy user-generated content. Now, this is quite interesting, right? So for those of us that maybe see those very polished, professionally shot videos, I want you to take a deep breath and release the stress. Release the stress. So messy user-generated content. Now, what exactly does it mean? Content that is almost accidentally used, funny, unexpected, unintentional, and no product benefits are shared to veer away from making people feel like they're being sold. So, and it kind of goes back to, John, that nonchalant product promotion. Like you can have a little product placement, nonchalant. And here's the thing too. Whenever you show up naturally doing what you do, which is living life at high frequency, you're going to be, utilizing those products that bring you joy.
Here's how you know you're on the right path: when people start to thank you. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for sharing that tip. Thank you for being so insightful. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for sharing your story. That's how you know you're on the right path. And it doesn't matter whether it's Facebook, Facebook Reels, Facebook Live, Instagram stories, TikToks, YouTube. If people are saying thank you, you know you're on the right path. Then if they start to share If you create shareable
I
content,
like that.
which is relatable, and they're
Yeah.
like, this is so good, I gotta share it with my teammates, or I gotta share it with my network, or I gotta share this with a friend, or I gotta tag someone. That's how you know you're on the right path. And it's not about a popularity contest, like Nadya said, but it's also not about being an infomercial.
Right.
Right? You want to kind of be somewhere in the middle where it's like, this is a person that encourages, that entertains, that empowers, like somehow they're bringing value into my life. And then guess where you could probably get away with some selling? In your stories, in your DMs, one-on-one. But how do you get to that point? It's through your content. Now, you could be proactive also in reaching out and connecting, which we're going to talk about. But if you're talking strictly about content creation, you got to eliminate the filters and you got to eliminate the perfect pictures and the perfect post. And I'm not saying you should never do that stuff. And if it's working for you, keep doing it. But we're trying to help those of you that are maybe on the struggle bus a little bit, you know, and this is some of what you got to think about and bring about when you start showing up on social.
They're saying curated content is going to take a nosedive. Remember those days when we would like polish up our news feed, like in the grid on Instagram? And I'm so happy to hear that. So it's no longer about perfection. It's about results and just being real, being raw. Now we're believers. If you're going to show up and be raw and real, be teaching from a scar, not an open wound, you know, like if you're going through something very dramatic and it's just you in the middle of it all, like maybe don't share that. Like maybe let it, you know, settle down. There's a teaching lesson, right?
Yeah.
So
like if you're in the middle of divorce, let's not talk about that.
Right.
But maybe if like, you know, you got divorced 5 years ago and you want to connect with other single moms or, you know, divorcees, like you could share your story, but just like Nadya said, not when you're in the thick of it.
Okay, good. We'll see more of documented life, raw, not staged, and not very much thought through. And this actually really quite helped me. Confession time. When I go to record my short form content, I tend to just do it over and over again. And it's just, you know, my spirit of excellence. But then also I have to ground myself in this beautiful little sentence. Version 1.0 is infinitely better than version 0.0. And then I go, okay, enough of the madness. I gotta just go with it and be done. Okay, a huge and sudden drop off of trending sounds and trends in general. Now, disclaimer, I would still play with that. Although I love to do my research and I love to hear what the experts are saying, but to each their own. We're all building our personal brand. We all have our unique audience, and what maybe works for one, you know, content creator may do absolutely opposite. It's like grooming kids for success, right, John? When we had Dylan, our 18-year-old, I told John, I'm like, baby, immediately we may need to shift directions in career. Maybe we should start doing parenting classes. We're so good at this parenting thing, right? And then God says, come down to earth, your highness. Here's Christina. Now she was complete opposite. What worked with Dylan did opposite with her. And, you know, she's a different personality, right? She's a leader and we had to learn a different way to communicate with her. Why am I telling you that beautiful story? Because first of all, your brand is your brand. And I always recommend test it and then tweak it and do an audit. Maybe before you go incorporating, take a look at the last 30 days of your content and let's get clarity. What are your top 5 most, you know, engaged posts? How can we do more of that? What was the least success? How can we maybe, you know, spin that into a different format or something like that? And then we can layer more strategy, right? I think it's so important to recognize different platforms means different atmospheres. Your brand is your brand. Anyways, lip syncs, dancing, pointing, any trending videos in general. Now, it still works for me, is what I found. I've done a lot of testing. I'm a huge fan of testing. I like to, for an example, back in the day, a couple years ago, John and I showed up on TikTok and we created 128 videos in 60 days in all kinds of different modalities to see, number one, what do we like, what resonates, what is sustainable long-term. Now, at the time, we grew our TikTok by 60,000 followers, right? So it was successful. We figured that out. But then you guys, we just did the same exact experience a couple of months ago, and we found it was crickets for us,
Right.
even though we have 90 something thousand followers on TikTok, and we were still consistently posting up content. But I went on a run. I was trying to break the algorithm yet again. And in the process of that, I a little bit went viral on Facebook, which is where my belief right now is, Facebook, Facebook, if you're listening, I like it. I like it a lot. So we'll cycle back to that. But what did I learn through doing all these different things? It's still working for me personally. Now, if you're doing it and it's not really working for you, pivot. The average person is no longer interested in watching 10 different takes on the same trend. I usually say, whatever it is you enjoy, create. So basically, they're saying, look, people are becoming tired. We've seen this plenty. Let's create original content. I say, if you're new to short form video, play with all of it, right? See what it is that you like best. Okay, first of all, do you create short form videos? So TikToks or Reels? And if you do, where do you originate the video?
I would say you still love TikTok the most.
Yeah, no, for me, if you're curious, I really love to originate my content on TikTok. Also, you'll see that trends start on TikTok first. So you're going to be like a couple of weeks ahead of the trend. Now, we just talked about the trend that those things are not going to be as effective, whatever. But I say pick one or the other. Now, I did try to create videos inside Instagram app. I just find it's not nearly as robust as TikTok. I really love the TikTok editor.
Shots fired.
I really, really, really love it. So I created on TikTok. Matter of fact, let me show you this really quick. I don't know if you know this hack, but I was psyched to put this SOP, right? Standard operating protocol into play a couple months ago. So essentially, we originate the content on TikTok. Then we save the video without the watermark. Now, if you say, Nadya, how do I do it? Just Google it. It's a third-party app, and it's pretty easy to do, okay? So you want to make sure that you save the video to your phone without the watermark, and then I would upload it to Instagram, and then I activated a setting. How many of you guys have already done this? Where when it auto posts to Instagram on Reels, or when you post it to Reels on Instagram, it'll auto post to your Facebook Reels instead of you manually having to do it. Okay. And then here's what I watched okay, so this particular video, how does it do across 3 different platforms? And sometimes a video would do great on TikTok. Sometimes it would do really good on Instagram. And sometimes, and this is why I'm really excited about Facebook, I had multiple videos go to 1 million+ views. And this is where I say, this is where TikTok was a couple years ago. That's where Facebook is now. And the benefit of doing that is if you directly upload to Facebook, you don't have the same editing features. Like you can't edit the thumbnail, make it custom. There's some things that are limitations at the moment. Like at the time of us recording this video, it's a little limiting, right? So TikTok is the most advanced as far as posting and then editing. Instagram is number 2. Facebook right now is number 3.
Right.
But exposure, I feel if you're not doing Reels on Facebook, man, you are missing out. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to say it. I'm going to be proud about it. That's what I noticed. So choose one platform where you're going to originate and then create SOPs, right, John? Standard operating protocols for how the content is going to show up on other platforms if you have the bandwidth.
We all start somewhere. And this is also what is being told to us that we agree with.
Okay.
You got to get good at telling your story and telling other people's stories, right? Using lessons, using examples, quality over quantity. And it's funny because, again, it depends on who you're listening to, right? Some people tell you, I'm posting 10 times a day. And I just still believe that for most people, they should focus on quality, not quantity. Now, if you're like a big time influencer, you know, like Eric Worre said he's gonna be posting like 400 pieces of content a month or something like that, or he might even said more. It's a little different because he's got a whole team that's full time and dedicated. He's got the bandwidth. So I think in the beginning, one post a day. Just make it a goal, one post a day, and maybe 3 to 5 stories a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would start with if I were you and I was trying to get clarity.
Yeah.
Like Nadya says, clarity equals power. So short form video could be a post. You could do a live video that could be a post, but the key is being proactive, engaging with the people that are watching, commenting, liking, following, viewing your stories. No posting and ghosting. You got to go back to what worked prior to short form videos. Prior to TikTok, and people, normal everyday people going viral, you know what worked? Being a human first and a marketer second. Reaching out to someone that liked, reaching out to someone that commented, said, thanks for the love of my post.
Yeah.
That stuff will always work. Personal interaction, reaching out to people, becoming a friend first and being a marketer second. And then you're asking questions. You're asking questions to get to know people, find out their pain points and their struggles, because what you're going to find is a lot of people struggle with a lot of the same stuff: confidence, energy, health, mindset, limiting beliefs, stinking thinking, stress, overwhelmed, lots of negativity. So being proactive and engaging. Look at this stat. Research shows that 56% of businesses struggle to sell on demand. 56% of businesses, and if you wanted to just say independent business owners, like all y'all network marketers, more than half of you struggle to sell. Meanwhile, there's people in your organization or in your upline, downline, sideline, whatever, that are selling all day, every day. And then there's other people that can't make one sale, a single sale. What's the difference? You got to build up that know, like, trust. We're at a very unique moment in time. This shift is bigger than TV, PCs, internet, and smartphones. And we're going to get into it, guys.
Have you heard of this Chat GPT that everybody's talking about? Have you heard of it? Have you been using it? Like, have you been fascinated? Have you even now gotten to the point where you open up Chat GPT before you open up Google? I'm noticing that's my behavior.
Wow.
Is shifting. It's kind of crazy. Has taken the power of AI and made it available to the mass. That's what Chat GPT did. Now, you guys, look at these numbers. This is going to blow your mind. It took them 5 days to reach 1 million users, 100 million users in 2 months. That's insane.
Insane.
That's insane. Now, to put it in perspective, because those are big numbers, it's hard to quantify and put context around it. Facebook took 10 months to reach 1 million users. IG took 2.5 months to reach 1 million users. That's kind of crazy, right? So AI technology, for those of us that ever feel like we have those brain farts, we are our own worst critic, we, struggle with doing research, maybe we're not analytical, maybe we're not really good at coming up with headlines and CTAs and all those different things, you guys know more. So let me give you some really cool ideas on how you can use, by the way, this free tool to optimize your marketing, okay? Your content creation, your follow-up, all the different things. In the research phase, brainstorm ideas, create headlines, hooks, edit your work. You can have ChatGPT do market research for you, segmentation, marketing, analytics, optimizing your email copy. Also, repurpose your content. It could do SEO optimization.
Crazy.
There's so many different things. Now, it sounds overwhelming. So I thought, let's come down to earth and speak like we're all in first grade, because big ideas like that, it's hard to digest. So think about Tony Stark and think about his AI assistant.
I think what it boils down to, like anything else, when something's new and people don't understand it yet, that's where the opportunity is.
Exactly.
Like, there's not as much opportunity at this point. If you were to download Facebook for the first time, have you heard of Facebook? Like, it's been around for a very long time. It's been around for over 10 years, right? Almost probably 15 years it's been around. So this is new. It makes sense that it's like a foreign conversation, but that's how you get ahead of the curve. And like, that's why we're sharing this with you, because it's so new, it's so cutting edge, and more people are using this technology to improve their content, but so much more, so much more.
So here's how you want to think about it. So pretend like you're talking to your personal assistant that is really smart, that's really resourceful. And obviously, if you ask a question without a whole lot of data, you're going to get a very generic answer. So the more detailed you can be in your prompt, the better. I can go in so many directions because I've done like so many different things with it. But let's say you created like a copy, a message that's going to go to your customer list. Before you send that message, you can go into ChatGPT and say, hey, here's a message I created for my existing customers that are taking this product, this product, this product. My company is running this promotion. Give as much detail as possible. My goal with this message is to XYZ. This is what I came up with. Do you see any way to improve this for conversion, for clicks, for questions, for engagement? So many different opportunities. Now, I know when I personally hear, look, there's unlimited opportunity and you can just ask anything and it'll spit out anything. When I hear that, my brain immediately shuts down. I don't even know where to begin. So I like to give very specific example, because once you create a little win, you then go, wow, let me try this way. Like, so it's pretty amazing. I want you to play with it. Even right before the training, I went in there and I said, hey, ChatGPT, what are the top 5 ways that network marketers or entrepreneurs in the health and wellness space can use you in their marketing? Can you believe this? Number 1, content creation. One of the primary ways you can use me is to generate high quality content. I can assist in writing blog posts, articles, product descriptions, social media posts, and more. So you can provide me with topic. I can generate engaging, informative, and SEO friendly content that can help attract potential customers to your business.
So cool.
Stop it. I love it. Number 2, market research. You can even go in and ask it to research and analyze your competition, identify trends, patterns, customer behavior, provide you with data, with insights to help you make an informed decision for your marketing strategy. Customer service. Now, this one I'm super curious about, John. Look at this. You can integrate it into your customer service strategy to provide quick and accurate responses to frequently asked questions. You guys, all of us are now Tony Stark. And we have Jarvis. Like, I think once I saw that visual in my head, it helped me understand and make it like tangible, how we could just immediately get an upgrade. You guys, some of us have virtual assistants. Some of us have personal assistants. Like, think of this as your Jarvis personal assistant. Like, are you freaking out?
This is the latest version. The newest version is coming out soon, and they said it's going to be 100 times more powerful. Like, you could give it a prompt, say, write me a book on such and such, and it could write a 60,000 word book.
That's insane.
This is the future.
Now, here's the thing. To relieve the stress, like, is it going to take over the world? Look, you cannot replace the human being. Like, nobody can be you, right? But the way that I see this technology, it's just going to give me an opportunity to delete those tasks from my to-do that is not my talent. Like, doing research is not part of my forte, or optimizing SEO on a website, should not be a human job, right? So there's so many positives. I mean, email marketing, I kind of gave you an example already with like your text messaging system, or sending an email, call to actions, all those different things. Okay, you guys. Okay, so let me bring the plane home. I felt the need to
land the plane.
Put together the top ideas that personally I'm excited about, that we're putting our focus on for 2023. Short form video will dominate. However, can I just please add a however? Live video is still king. Look, you got to see short form video as an opportunity for you to increase your connective tissue, right? To reach more people, to expand your audience. Because if somebody doesn't know you, they're not gonna, chances of them watching your live video are super, super slim, right? But short form video has an opportunity to go viral, to reach a wide audience. Now, John said it in the beginning, you do not need to go viral to create a successful business, but how cool to know that that's a possibility too.
Exactly.
That's a possibility too. Now, long form video, which is live video specifically on Facebook, this is why you guys see us showing up all the time with live video, because that's an opportunity for you to build those relationship, that trust, that depth with your audience. Okay, content that is edutaining will prevail.
We love to entertain or edutain,
Yes.
or just really show up with the joy,
Yes.
as Brendan says, bring the joy.
Yes.
And Facebook, we still think, is the gorilla.
Yeah.
All other platforms are cool. If you love them, keep using them. But Facebook is the best because of Facebook groups, Facebook group chats,
Yeah.
right? Team chats, ATM. I mean, it has all the things,
But you can use other secondary
Yeah.
platforms to,
To
kind
meet
of feed
people.
into
Yeah.
your Facebook.
One of the biggest things with Instagram, TikTok, even Facebook, these other platforms of the years, is we've used those platforms to connect with people. And
Yeah.
then if they're a lead for our business, bring them to Facebook.
Exactly. Okay.
Being proactive and engaging with your audience.
Yeah. Now
You're-
that was always the case. Like, it's always a good way to build your business is to be proactive, to build relationship. But specifically in 2023, people are just, it's just become white noise
Yeah.
that there's so much selling happening on social media. So it's really, really important that you find ways to get into DMs, that
It goes down in
show
the DM.
in your posts, like you show up in your posts with content that is shareable.
Yeah.
And then create engagement, create conversations, and then in the DMs is where we pop the question and we find ways to serve them, right? Whether it's with your product or with your business. And then, of course, the rise of AI, and not to be dramatic, but
That sounds like a
It's-
Terminator sequel.
I know it's definitely the time right now where I would highly encourage you to just, budget whatever amount of time. Me, I'm a huge fan of doing a 30-day run of sorts.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm doing. I'm doing a run with this AI where every day I'm just playing with it for at least 15 minutes. Like yesterday, it was gardening, and I felt like, let me just figure out the most effective prompts.
Right.
Like, what information can I feed it? And then which areas of my life can I find the best SOPs, like standard operating protocols? Like, you guys, like, think of those, how we talk about what is your number one stressor? And a couple of years ago, for me, my number one stressor was cooking, because all I knew were these super complex, recipes that would take forever to create. But, we could go to ChatGPT and say, hey, I only have 20 minutes to prep food. Can you give me 10 recipes that are very healthy, delicious, with 3 to 5 ingredients
Love that.
I can prep in 20 minutes or less? And whatever, like, do you understand how crazy that is?